name is Brian. I am a personal trainer with the City of Longmont Recreation Services. Today we're going to do some foam rolling. This is a foam roller and we're going to follow it up with some very simple basic stretches. The focus today is going to be on our lower body, so the major muscle groups of your lower body. It is important, especially now that a lot of us are at home due to the COVID-19 virus, to stay active, to stay flexible, and a lot of these stretches we're going to do today, in fact all of them, you can do at your house, or you can do outside, on your front porch, wherever you have a chair, or you're going to need a mat or something comfortable. Carpet might work. You don't need a foam roller, but they are helpful. You can use other tools, such as a ball. You don't need these cords on here, but you can use a tennis ball. Some people like to use racket balls, lacrosse balls, anything that's got a little bit of firmness to it. So I'm going to show you how to use all these techniques today. The first thing we're going to do is we always want to warm your body up for at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there, so the blood gets flowing to your muscles. They're more flexible, they're ready to move. All right, we're going to start with a warm-up. So these exercises I'm going to show you, I'm going to just do it for a shorter period of time that you would normally do them, just so we can move through a little bit quicker. But I always start my class off, and this is called a cross crawl. You bring your hands up, bring your hands to your knees, it's warming up your legs, warming up your torso and your arms. And as your hands cross that midline of your body, it wakes your brain up. So both hemispheres of your brain are starting to talk to each other, all right? The next one we do, this one is, I do this because what it does is help get your lymph system moving, helps it drain. It's very simple. Your palms are forward, you go up on your toes, flip the palms, and as you come down, once your hands reach the side of your legs, you go back slightly and bring your toes up. So it's a continuous movement. You're going to take big, deep breaths with that. Okay? All right, the next one we're going to do is you're going to just twist your hips. And as you do that, you shift your weight side to side and just let your arms swing naturally. Okay, it's another good warming up movements for your hips and your torso. All right, the next one is called the swinging gait. So you bring the knee up, rotate the knee up, touch the toe down, bring it back, and then you go to the other side. And you're gonna repeat that 3 to 4 times each leg, all right? The next warm up we're gonna do is we're going to put your hands on your thighs, and you just pulse up and down like you're gonna sit in a chair behind you. And what you can do is you can add a rotation with your knees. That's gonna warm up your knees, and then you go back the other way. All right, good, so you'll do that a little bit longer than that. Next one is, so you can just swing the hip, warm up the back of the legs, the hips, the glutes, your thighs, your hamstrings, and then you do the other leg. But it is good to have a chair for this one. Then the next one is across the body. So we go, swing the leg back and forth, and then you go to the other side. And now obviously you do these a little bit longer. All right, good. So the next one we're gonna do is for your upper body. I just bring the arms back and forth. Warm up the chest, warm up the upper back. And then what I do is I stop here and I bring the arms out, and we start with a big circle going forward, and then you spiral those hands in. As you go in, they go faster. And then you go back, and then you widen that circle and slow it down. And then from there, go into shoulder shrugs, open up the chest, and then forward. And like I said earlier, you can go longer with these depending on how tight you feel. And this one's good and relaxing for your traps. When your shoulders get tight and tense, get headaches, that's a good exercise right there. All right, the next one is for your shoulders. So your palm is forward. As you bring your hand up, you flip the palm out and you continue around. Then you do 4 rotations backwards, and then when you're done with 4, you're gonna start at the bottom, hand out, you're gonna bring the arm forward, and you'll do that on both sides, all right? So the last one we're gonna do, I like to do this one for your shins and your ankles. And a lot of these, I'm gonna take off my shoes real quick, because a lot of these stretches you should be doing with your shoes off. So the next one, I'm just gonna put the top of my toes so they're touching the ground, and you just rotate the heel back and forth, loosen the ankles. And then we're going to actually physically stretch your shin. So if you can see it here, I want you to start with your foot vertical. Once again, the top of the toes are on the ground, and you're pushing your shin into the earth. Bend the front knee if you want a little more stretch, and you hold that. And then you bring your heel out for another 30 seconds to a minute and hold that, and then that'll stretch the outside of the shin, all right? All right, so that's our warm-up. While we were doing your rolling and your stretching, one of the most important things that I want you to focus on is your breathing. And we call this belly breathing. So the intent with the breathing is that it helps relax your nervous system, and that will in turn relax your muscles. So belly breathing, you start with a big deep breath in through your nose and let your belly rise. So you can physically see the belly come out, and you hold for a second, and then you're exhaling back out the nose. So you're gonna just do that over and over again. And it's very important that you try to maintain breathing throughout the use of the roller or whatever tool you're using, as well as the stretching. We're gonna talk about the basics of why we use the foam roller. So a lot of us have tightness in our muscles in such a way that it alters the alignment of our joints. And when your joints are improperly aligned, then you start to, get wear and tear, and then over the life of the joints, then you start to get pain, arthritis, other ailments in the joint area. So I'll give a great example. So if I have my clients do a squat and their knees are going in, that tells me that they have these tiny little knots on the inside of their muscles, on the inside of the legs. Those are called adhesions. The way you release adhesions is through pressure using a foam roller, a ball. It's the same thing as going to get a massage, where they hold that knot, and after a while the body will naturally release those areas of tension. So that's why it's important to use the foam roller. And then we're gonna follow each muscle group up with a stretch. So once those knots are released, you need to bring that muscle back to its elastic, natural alignment. We're gonna focus on the major muscle groups of your lower body. And the way I'm going to present this is we're gonna focus on the muscle group using the roller or another object, a ball in this case, and then we're gonna follow it up with a static stretch. Static means there's no movement. You're going to hold that for a time period between 30 and 60 seconds. So the first one we're gonna focus on is the thighs. Okay, so these are the thighs that are on the front of your upper leg, and then on the outside is where the IT band is. So that's a great area to focus on. If you tend to experience knee discomfort, it's possible it is due to a tight IT band and a tight thigh. So you're going to just come on to the roller, and the object is to move to a point where you feel a very tender trigger point or spot. Once you find that spot, you're going to actually stop the roller, and you're going to stay on that spot for 1 to 2 minutes or longer until that knot releases. You're still doing the belly breathing, okay? That's gonna help release that knot. Think of it as like pulling butter out of the refrigerator. When you first get it out, it's very solid. And as it starts to warm up and soften, it releases, okay? So we're gonna go into a spot, so I'm gonna hold this for a little while. I'm gonna do my breathing. And then, after a short time, that knot will release. And then I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you go on the IT band. So you're going to basically go on one leg. This one is very uncomfortable. A lot of times, it's hard on your shoulder, so you can use a pillow or a Bosu ball or something to support your upper body. So I just go on the angle and I hold that, and there's a spot right there. Do my breathing till it releases. All right, good. So, assuming most of us have more knots than that, we're going to spend a little more time on that area. So the follow-up is this thigh stretch. So you can do this standing, where you grab your foot and you try to get the knee behind or within the midline of your body, okay? And once you're in that position, you're going to push your hips forward. Once the hips are forward, then you're going to feel that stretch into the hip flexors down into the thigh. 30 to 60 seconds, then you go to the other leg, okay? A way you can do this in a chair if you have difficulty standing is you can put the foot back and then you lean back and you can feel the stretch through there. Or you can lay on your side, same position, you pull that knee back, push the hips forward. And that's a great way to get those thighs. All right. Tight thighs can actually lead to lower back pain, so that's why it's very important to roll out these muscles, once or twice a week if you can. Next, we're going to focus on the glutes. Okay, the glutes are those big muscles, the hip muscles, and those are responsible for, bringing your legs back, leg rotation, and those can also contribute to lower back pain. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit on that thick muscle. And you'll go at an angle, and then you'll just move it till you find a tender spot. Got one right there. You're gonna breathe. Do your long breathing, let it release, and then after a minute or two, it should go. All right. And then you spend look for 2 or 3 spots on one side, and then go to the other side of your body. All right. Let's talk about a great stretch for your hips. This one is called the number 4 stretch, or the seated piriformis. And what you're going to do is you're going to sit in a chair. You're going to place one leg right up on the top of the knee there. You're going to hold your toes in. Okay, back straight, shoulders back. Hold the knee down, and then you're going to bring your chest straight forward. You're going to feel that in the hip. It's a great stretch, helps with lower back pain. And don't forget your breathing. Breathing is very important. And then you'll go to the other side, okay? All right, now we're gonna do the outside of the leg, okay? These are called your abductors. Okay, that is responsible for hip abduction, bringing your leg out to the side. And this one can also be very uncomfortable, so you might wanna support your upper body. So this one, you just go straight on your side, like this, right there. Already find a spot, tender, hold the spot, hold the pressure, knot releases, and then you go on to the next one, okay? All right, so go ahead and release that. Okay, one of the best stretches for that is the side lunge. So the side lunge, you go nice and wide. Feet are flat, feet are parallel, and you bend one knee, and as you bend the knee, you're gonna bring your hips back, rest your hand on your thigh. You should feel it here and on the inside. Okay, this is called a side lunge, and then you go to the other side after 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, and switch, all right. Okay, the next muscle group, the adductors, ADD, that's on the inside of the leg. So what I usually do is I'll put the roller parallel to my body and the mat that I'm going to be on, okay? Go on my belly. If you have really tight hips or have had a hip replacement, you can start on your side and then place somewhere on the inside of the leg, just right above the knee area. And you're going to turn that body as far as you can, even go on your belly until you find that tender spot. You can also raise your foot or lower your foot. It's a pretty big muscle area. Once again, holding it when you find a tender area. Okay, I have a spot there, so I'm gonna hold that a couple minutes until it releases after the breathing. All right, once we do that, you can either do the side lunge as a follow-up stretch, or you can do the butterfly. So this one, you pull the feet in as far as you can. Okay, knees are down towards the ground, back is straight, lean forward, shoulders back, chest out, okay? You're gonna feel that on the inside of the legs. Very important to do your breathing. All right, good. Okay, next area to focus on are the calves. Most leg and body misalignment starts in the calf and the ankle area, so it is very important that we target these muscles, and it's very simple. You can do 2 legs at once. You can turn them with your feet out, feet in, or feet parallel, all right? And usually what I like to do is I usually find a spot on the calf, move it around on one side, find it, then I apply a little extra pressure with the other leg, do my breathing. Hold it until it releases, okay? Now there are 2 different ways you can do a calf stretch, okay? So let me show you. Okay, the first one, we're gonna use this chair here. First one is, you will need shoes for this if you're on a hard floor because your feet will slip. So imagine I have shoes on. So you straighten the back leg, heel down, okay? And the more you lean forward, the more you're gonna stretch the calf. Okay, you're gonna feel that just beneath the knee. Now, after you hold that for a minute or so, you're gonna wanna stretch the lower part of the calf. So what you do is you bend your back knee and you sit back, keeping the heel flat still, foot flat, and now you're gonna feel that stretch in the lower part of the calf called the soleus. Okay, so that's very important you do both muscle groups. So in the beginning of the stretching, when we were doing our warm-ups, I showed you the shin stretch, so you should also do that one too, okay? All right, so we're gonna take a little break here. All right. The last major muscle group on the lower body is the hamstrings. So these are the hamstrings. They're just beneath your hips on the back of the leg. And you know, not a lot of people will find tenderness in these muscles. So what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna come up on the roller. Once again, you can use something to support your weight in the back, but I'm gonna have you go to the side a little bit at an angle, okay? And usually when you're on the outside of that lower muscle group, you're gonna feel it, okay? So I feel a spot right there, so I hold it, you know, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it takes to release it. And then, you know, you do a couple more and then you go to the other leg. One of the most effective stretches for the hamstring is you can stand, hands on the hips, one leg forward, the leg is straight, and you're gonna bring your chest straight out and bring the hips back. Okay, and you're gonna feel that all the way down the back. So you don't wanna go down with the body, you wanna go out with the chest. And you're gonna breathe and you're gonna switch legs, okay? Now I'm gonna show you some alternatives using the chair. Since a lot of us are at home due to the virus, or at home in general, or in an office, we're in a chair a lot, or on a couch. So you can also stretch there. So the way to do the hamstring stretch is you can bring the leg forward, same position, chest straight out. Hold that, and 30 seconds, minute, you go to the other side, okay? I showed you the number 4 stretch earlier. From this position, you can also do a side lunge. So feet are out, you just bring one leg straight out. And the more you bring the leg out, the more you're gonna feel it on the inside and the outside. Okay? I also showed you the thigh stretch earlier where you lean back. All right. Now this here, this is a hard rubber ball. The straps are for rolling out your upper back, and that will be for another time. But you can also, like I said earlier, you can use a tennis ball, and what you're gonna do is you're going to, in the same way you would use the roller, locate a spot, use your hands, push it down, release, breathe, relax. And then you go on to the next spot. And this one is almost preferable for some people because the body weight can be a little too much. And there's another spot. Another thing you can use on the chair is you can use the roller. Okay, so you can, put your forearms, find a spot, there we go. It's another effective way if you don't feel like getting on the ground. Another thing you can do for your feet. So a lot of us suffer from plantar fasciitis. So one of the ways to help with that is to do the calf stretch that I showed you earlier. Oh, I haven't showed you the second way with that. All right, and you roll this around, just working those tight muscles, the fascia area, releasing any tension in there. And then you go to the other foot. You can spend a few minutes on this, just really enjoy it. Actually feels pretty good. All right, let's go back to that other calf stretch. So I'm gonna pause here and you can splice that in with that other segment. All right, so the other calf stretch. So pretend this is the wall. Okay, it's a vertical wall. And what I'm gonna do, so this is my left leg, and I'm gonna place the left leg against the wall. So my toes are on the wall, heel is on the ground, leg is straight. Now I'm gonna bring my right leg fairly close. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise my right heel, and as I do that, it brings the left shin forward, and that really stretches out that calf. Nice. Okay. Great control here, using the heel. You can really feel that deep into the muscle. 30 to 60 seconds, and then you go to the other side. All right. Okay, so that's the basics for foam rolling, the major muscle groups for your lower body. And I gave you some basic stretches that you do need to follow up with. So you do the foam roller first, followed by the static stretch. If you have any questions, you can always contact the rec center directly and get my contact information. Once again, my name is Brian. I am a personal trainer here at the Longmont Recreation Center and Recreation Services. Thank you.